Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sports Lowdown. Brad Swanson here bringing you the Sports Lowdown as we do each and every Wednesday night at 6 o'clock right here on channel 98.9 FM. Lee Knapp is unable to be with me tonight to do the show, so this is probably going to be an abbreviated show tonight. But here it is. We're winding down as we're still in the postseason of the winter sports season here. Both the girls and boys basketball team were ousted from the playoffs this past week. So now it's down to the wrestlers and the swimmers. Swimmers will be taking action in this weekend's district tournament. They had the diving last week, and none of our swimmers qualified. We had good showings, but no one qualified for states in diving. So we're hoping for someone to step up and do their very best and get a chance to move on to the state tournament at the district competition this weekend. The wrestlers, as I mentioned, will be in action at the regional tournament, and that will take them back to Sharon, where they just competed last weekend for the district tournament. 9 Corry wrestlers will be moving on to regionals, which is a great showing. They take the top 8 from each weight class, and 9 of our kids will be moving on out of 14 weight classes. That's very good. That's a nice showing, and I believe we're second only to, of course, none other than the defending 7-time, I believe, or 8-time defending 2A champion Reynolds Raiders. Reynolds once again won the district competition over the weekend as a team. The 26th time Reynolds has won the district title. So they're just a class act. They're tough to beat. Everybody wants to be able to compete and beat a Reynolds Raider wrestler. Say that 10 times real fast. And it's a tough task to do because those kids are very well versed in listening to comments from a lot of gentlemen around the area that really know District 10 wrestling or know wrestling in general. They said that these kids come out, step out onto the mat, knowing that they're going to win. Now they don't win every match, of course, but there's a majority of them that win a lot. They win a lot more than they lose. Evident by the 14, that's right, there's 14 weight classes. How many kids are Reynolds sending to the regional tournament? Yes, all 14. That's very impressive. They had 7 individual champions, which is another very impressive thing to do and very difficult thing to do. So Reynolds always has a target on their back, and those kids just rise to the top and compete at the highest level very well. So look for Reynolds to send a bunch of kids to the state tournament this year. But we're hoping to get some kids through this regional tournament from Corry and get them moved on into the state tournament. And we have 9 individuals, as I said, 8 qualified, and then there was a disqualification of a wrestler in the 220-pound bracket, which allowed Sean Proctor to come back through. And I tell you what, Sean, if you're listening, this is a great opportunity for you, young man. You have the opportunity to go out there and play the knockoff guy. Go out there and pick off some of those higher-seeded wrestlers and earn yourself a trip into the state tournament. And I know you're very capable of doing just that. So we're hoping for great things from all of our wrestlers. So let's give you a quick rundown on who they are. At 106 pounds, we're going to send Lucas Muncie. At 113, it'll be Caden Rada. At 120, Damian Kinney. At 126, it'll be Derek Hurd. At 145, we're going to send Nick Lipinski. At 182, it'll be Matt Petrilla. At 195, Hayden Linkerhoff. 220, as I mentioned, Sean Proctor. In our heavyweight, the surprising Xavier X Factor Rada. So it's very good to see 9 kids moving on, and we're pleased to be able to let you know that we're sending 9 kids, and like I said, we wish them all the very best. We hope that we can have some of them in the right places on the podium. I believe 4 place finishers, the top 4 place finishers from this regional tournament, move on to states, if I'm not mistaken. So let's hope that we can get at least half of these guys moved on and get them into the state tournament. That would be fantastic. We know that the potential is there. We have every one of the kids I just mentioned has the potential to upset the higher seeded kids and to get themselves a chance to move on to the state tournament. Some of these guys have wrestled in state competition in the junior and middle school wrestling ranks, so they know what it takes to get there. So, they know that it's an uphill battle, and it's going to be very tough because the competition is brutal. And now we have District 9 coming over to join us in the region tournament, so it's going to be that much more difficult. There's some really good wrestlers from that area, and we're talking Kane, Ridgeway, Johnsonburg, just to mention a few, Smethport, Ridgeway. So there's some quality wrestlers out there. Brockway, Brookville, I believe. I'm going to miss a few here, but there are some really good wrestlers out that way. Always have been. Some of those schools that I mentioned have been dominant in their own right. Maybe not quite as dominant as a Reynolds team, of course, but they've been very dominant. And so there's a very intense, high percentage group of really good wrestlers at every weight this weekend coming up. So our kids have their work cut out. They know what they have to do. It's quite a mission, but I think that we can get the mission accomplished and send some kids down to states. I know that Coach Mark Muncie would love nothing more than to be taking that ride down to Hershey with a few kids and being able to sit in the corner and coach them on at the highest level, the state competition. So, we're hoping and we know that they've been working very hard, and we just wish them all the best. So looking back, as I said, the girls finished their season. They took a loss in the playoffs. The boys took a loss in the playoffs to Grove City in a fairly tight ball game. And both the teams are now finished for the year. But there's so many talented athletes on both the girls and boys teams. And I know that we're going to see much more from those individuals as they prepare for spring sports, because a lot of those kids are multi-sport athletes, most of them. So we're going to see them on the baseball field, the softball field, and of course out for track and field, both girls and boys. So we're looking for good things in the future here from all of those kids, and great effort in this past winter here in basketball for both the girls and the boys. And keep working hard, keep your chins up, and let's get ready to rumble in the spring here. It's just around the corner. You'll have to pardon the nasally voice tonight. I am a little under the weather myself, but the show must go on. We're going to take a commercial break and hear from our wonderful sponsors. When we come back, we're going to talk more sports right here on the Sports Lowdown on your favorite channel, Channel 98.9 FM, right here in Corry. We'll be back after these important messages. Welcome back to the Sports Lowdown. Brad Swanson here, bringing you the Sports Lowdown as we do every Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. right here on Channel 98.9 FM every Wednesday night. Looking at some of the things that happened over the weekend, we see that the Otters swim team had 5 champs. The 13 and 14-year-old girls finished second. And it's great to see that, because that's our feeder program, folks. And we are very, very fortunate to have a group of kids coming up through. Lee has mentioned it several times that we have a group of girls, I believe, that are in 8th grade. That would be the 13 and 14-year-old girls that are really going to make an impact on the girls' swim team next year. And we have some kids coming back, some boys coming back next year to swim for us that are going to make that team strong. And we're going to add some younger kids there, too, to bolster it a little bit. So things are looking up for the Corry swim teams, both the girls and boys. We're looking forward to seeing some of these guys come back, some of these girls come back, and we are really pumped up and excited for them for this weekend too, because you never know. It's a time event. Every event that they race they're racing the clock. And as Lee mentioned last week, I thought it was very interesting that they take the 18 fastest times across the state. It's not 3 from this team, 3 from that team. 18 fastest times. So hopefully we can get some kids that are right up there knocking at the door, and that can get that little extra kick at the end and set some PRs, and hopefully it'll be enough to get them into the state meet. So we'll see what happens. Nonetheless, we wish them all the best of luck. And as we look at, I talked about basketball playoffs. Of course, on the girls' side, it's Villa Maria every year that's just lights out. They just play fantastic basketball, and they're always in the top in the state of Pennsylvania. Looking here at Class 2A, it's tonight the games would be West Middlesex versus Cambridge Springs, and that game is at Meadville High School at 6:30, followed by Cochranton at Maplewood. And how ironic, they're playing at Meadville, so neither of those schools has too far to travel, and they played each other several times this year. So it's just kind of odd that happens. But moving ahead here to the 3A semifinals, it'll be Greenville versus Northwestern. That game will be at Meadville High School at 5 p.m. And then at Fairview High School, it'll be Mercier's Prep and Girard at 7:30 p.m. In the Class 5A semifinals at Oil City High School, it'll be Warren and Oil City, Slippery Rock, and Harbor Creek. The first game, Warren and Grove City, will be 6 p.m. Slippery Rock, Harbor Creek will be at 7:30. Of course, Slippery Rock was the team that knocked Corry out this past weekend. The Corry girls lost to Slippery Rock at Sharon. At Class 4A, it's a sub-regional Wednesday tonight at Fairview High School, Villa Maria versus Westinghouse. That game at 6. And also a 6A sub-regional at the Prep Villa Center. It'll be Erie and Alderdice. That game also 6 p.m. start. So we move along to the boys. In 2A, it'll be Farrell and Youngsville at Oil City High School at 6. At Slippery Rock University at 6 o'clock, it'll be Cambridge Springs and Lakeview. A couple familiar foes with one another. In 3A semifinals at Slippery Rock at 7:30, it'll be Franklin Sharon. And at Meadville High School at 6, it'll be Fairview and Sharpsville. At Class 4A semis at Oil City High School, 7:30, it'll be Hickory and Warren. And at Meadville High School, Harbor Creek and Grove City. Of course, Grove City's the team that knocked Corry off. And Harbor Creek beat Corry twice this year. Should be an interesting match up there. And that game at Meadville will be set for 7:30. Now, Hickory, Warren, Harbor Creek, Grove City, winners and losers both play on Friday. So we moved to 5A sub-regional Tuesday. Actually, that was last night. Meadville at Du Bois at 6. 6A sub-regional Monday at Tyrone Middle School. It was State College over Erie, 51-45. And of course tonight, McDowell State College are set to meet at 7:30. So some great matchups, and good luck to all those teams. And we look into over at our friends in New York State. It's the Class D boys quarterfinals Friday. It'll be number 5 Riverside at number 4 North Collins, number 6 Clymer, and number 3 Sherman, and number 7 Pine Valley, and number 2 Forestville. Semifinals are set for March 2nd, which is a week from Monday. Coming up the next Monday. Pardon me. March 2nd at Jamestown Community College. It'll be Riverside North Collins winner versus number 1 Panama. And then the next night at Jamestown Community College, it'll be Clymer Sherman winner versus Pine Valley Forestville winner. And then the finals are set for March 6th at Jamestown Community College as well. And in girls, it'll be number 5 Clymer Thursday night at Pine Valley. Semifinals will be Clymer Pine Valley winner versus Panama at Jamestown Community College March 4th. And then the 5th, it'll be number 3 North Collins versus number 2 Sherman. Finals will be at Jamestown Community College on March 7th. So there you go. There's a rundown on girls and boys basketball. A little bit on swimming. We talked about wrestling. That pretty much covers our winter sports scene. And we're hoping that we can see some of these local schools. It'd be nice to see Clymer pop in there. I see that they're seated a little further down, but it would be nice to see them jump in there and knock off a couple of these bigger schools, or higher seeds anyway, and get themselves set up to play in a final. See what happens, but we wish them all the best of luck. And the Otters, hopefully you kids keep working hard, keep working together. You are the future of Corry swimming, so listen to your coaches, do your very best, and have fun. If you're having fun, good things happen. We also want to wish of course, the district swimmers, high school swimmers, girls and boys, the best of luck this weekend. We hope that they will have a real good competitive outing. Win, lose, or draw, we're proud of all of your efforts, and we hope that you're having a lot of fun as well. Same with our wrestlers. Go out there and leave it on the mat. Do your very best. You are working for something very special to be able to make it to the state tournament. There's very few that get the opportunity to do that. So go out there, do your very best. If you make it, you're in a very elite group. But you're already in a very elite group because you had a banner season this year. You won a couple tournaments. You won your region. You guys did fantastic. You qualified a bunch of kids for the district tournament. Now you've qualified 9 for regionals. Let's qualify some for states, guys. Let's go out there, do our very best, and win, lose, or draw, keep your heads high. All of you, remember that you're representing your town, your school, your family, and friends, and yourselves, of course. So go out there and conduct yourself in an orderly fashion. Do your very best. Win, lose, or draw. Keep your head high. And good luck to all of you from all of us here at Channel 98.9 FM. And I'm speaking on behalf of all the sports fans here in Corry. We wish all of you the best of luck. Hopefully, Knapp will be back with me next week to do the show. And we will bring you an updated version on how our swimmers did, how the wrestlers did, and we'll try to get a sneak peek at our spring sports teams as well. And you'll have to keep that radio dial tuned into Channel 98.9 FM to find out all about that. So make sure you're listening each and every Wednesday, 6 p.m. right here on Channel 98.9 FM to yours truly, Brad Swanson, and my partner Lee Knapp, to the Sports Lowdown. Have a great night, and go Beavers.